Yo, what's happening, everybody? It's Maurice back again, and today I want to talk about Ironheart and Nova. I got to play a couple of games with them and kind of see what they were about. So I'll go into a little bit of my impressions of them playing for a couple of games and just kind of feeling their rhythm and seeing, just kind of how where I think they'll land in terms of power rankings and where I think they'll be more comfortable at home with. And just a disclaimer, I've only played a few games, so take that with whatever you want. But, with the experience that I've had with the game as well as just kind of the direction that the game is going, I'll just go over a few things that, I saw with these heroes that I loved, some things that I didn't like with each one of them, and we'll start off with that. So first I'll start off with Nova. And when I first saw his cards on the preview, I wasn't too impressed with him. He had a bunch of wild resource cards, so if you're able to use his hero identity cards to do whatever, there seems to be a maximum efficiency with dealing with his cards specifically. But with the precon that was made that focused on aggression, a lot of it dealt with defeating enemies and I guess just trying to get a bit of overkill with it as well. I think that the precon for it was okay. It really doesn't shine on what he's capable of doing because he have that one card unleash. Um, I think it's unleash Nova Force, where he's able to you play it as a one cost, and he has by the end of the round, if he defeats somebody, he's able to ready and draw a card, or if he removes the threat from a scheme, he's able to ready and draw a card. I believe is what it was, but um, that card is the bread and butter of his kit, and it helps that he has a ton of cards that are either one cost or they're two costs. But if you pay with a wild resource, then that wild resource doubles, which allows for the full thing to be paid. And it works amazingly with his kit because he only has two cards that's above two cost in his kit, which are both of his signature ally, which is Miss Marvel, and um, his father. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it was James Alexander. But which allows you to be able to shuffle in his resource card. And what I love about the resource cards that were added to both his and Ironheart's is the fact that they're able to they remind me of Ant-Man and Wasp, where they have the pim particles that's specific to their hero. And I love that Marvel Champions is starting to lean into that a bit more, where you're having these resource cards that are specific to them. And I think it helps because it means that we're not having to depend as much on energy, genius, and strength as much anymore, which helps with kind of increasing that the viability of different cards, as well as allowing us to dig deeper into the pool of cards that Marvel Champions have. That our decks don't have to have the same 6, 7 cards in each and every deck. You got a bit of variety to work with because the heroes are now starting to lean in certain areas where they have these resource cards that allow you to be able to play certain cards that you may have overlooked for the whole time that the card has been in the game. So with Nova, I think that he's going to end up probably favoring protection and justice. I think that with justice, especially with the Unleashed Nova Force paired with something like One Way or Another that allows you to draw some cards, get a side scheme in there, defeat that side scheme, which allows you to draw cards. Like there's certain combos like that that I think will favor him, especially in Justice. Put a skilled investigator on him with clear the area and multitasking. He can easily fulfill the genius resource, the mental resource, excuse me, to be able to get those kickers on those cards. So Justice will definitely be a pocket for him that he'll be able to work in effectively. And then if you go over to protection, uh, protection has a ton of cheap cards. So the cheaper the cards, especially for him with how efficient he is, you're able to play so many cards in one turn that you're probably going to be playing a lot of his hero specific cards on the hero phase, and then during the villain phase you're getting off 2 to 3 defense cards because he's just that efficient, right? And as long as he ready, his helmet readies, or excuse me, when you use a an ability of his, then his helmet can ready, and then you just rinse and repeat from there. So those desperate defenses and ever vigilant, he's just going to be Quicksilver 2.0 in protection. So in my opinion, I think that's where his lane is going to be. I think you can make some decent decks out of both leadership and aggression with them, especially with him being aerial. There's a lot of champions, the champion trait. So there's a lot of heroes that fall into that you can use for allies. So I think that's where he's going to land, my opinion. But uh, he's going to land in protection and justice, my opinion. But I think that you will be able to make some viable, extremely viable leadership and aggression decks with him. So I think Nova would fall just from the few games that I have and kind of seeing the possibilities that's out there with him. Man, he's easily going to be like an A minus character. But when it's all said and done, I think he's going to fall like above, potentially above Black Panther, but below like Scarlet Witch. Like I think he'll be in that space. But on to Ironheart, she was the one that I was the most excited in playing, and after playing her, I love her, man. She's War Machine 2.0. Her kit is so greedy, man, and I love every bit of it. That by the end of your first run through the deck, you'll probably have, man, I'll say, man, you can easily have 6 cards on the table because she has a ton of those um, tech cards that allows her to be able to, uh, with her scheme, she's able to, she has her gauntlets where she's able to do damage depending on her version, and then she has her propulsion jets that allows her to remove threat depending on her version number. She has probably one of the better supports in the game with um, Ronnie Williams, I think is her name, where she's able to uh, heal herself to, or you can put a progress token on her. And I think that with her progress tokens, where she has certain cards that allows her to put progress tokens on her. Her alter ego allows her to be able to put a progress token on her, and then she have cards that allow her to be able to put a progress token, but you can put an extra one on it if you defeat an enemy or if you remove the last threat on a scheme. So I think that with her progress tokens, this is a cool kind of way to be able to fit an archetype that's not quite made yet. I think that she's the first of a kind that Fantasy Flight can have that opportunity to continue on and um, create characters that have this kind of level progression. Because originally Iron Man was the one that felt like you were on a side quest until he gets completely built, and her side quest is completely different. Hers, even with her version 1, where she's just a 1 2 3 in terms of threat, attack, defense, and a 4 hand size, she still feels more effective than other heroes with the 4 hand size. She still feels more useful because she would have some cards already out on the table, potentially for her to continue to get things done. But she gets better as the game goes on. So as you get those progress counters and move on to version 2, she becomes a 2 2 3, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense, and then the next stage will be 3 2 3. But if you have progress tokens, it works kind of like War Machine's uh, shoulder cannon, where you can discard a progress token for 2 damage, and there's no limit to it. I guess your only limit is the progress tokens, which essentially becomes ammo at that point. But she's so much fun, man. I think just getting all of her stuff out on the table, um, which opens her up to being able to do a ton of stuff once she's, especially when she hits version 3. I don't think you necessarily have to hit version 3 every time, but it definitely helps because some of her cards become cheaper, some of her attacks become stronger, her threat removal becomes stronger, and that opens up opportunities for her to be able to play some of those other cards from other aspects, depending on which one you choose. So with her, I think she'll fall under leadership. I think they had the right idea with some of those cards that they added in with the research and development facility, which you exhaust, take away a counter from it, and it boosts up your stats. And then they paired it with Sharon Carter, where Sharon Carter can come in and ready those shield supports, so that allows you to be able to get a +2 for that turn. Absolutely disgusting. So I think that she's definitely going to be the first ally to really get Voltron. Well, excuse me, the first hero that can be Voltron. I think that that's going to be a that's going to be amazing to see some people make some decks around that, because I think that the precon was kind of like the start of it, and they're on track with those morale boosts and that research and development uh, facility that she have. Oh man, there's gonna be some crazy combos. I'm looking forward to seeing what the community does with her. So I'll keep playing some of those games to see what that's about. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I think that she's extremely strong. She's another one. I think she's probably in the same realm as Nova, um, where I think that she's going to get to a point that she becomes ridiculous, but not like, I don't see her being more effective than like Captain America, but I think that she could get up there um to kind of compete with some of those heavy hitters in the game like Captain Marvel, Spider Woman. I think that she can kind of compete with them already, but yeah, I think that she's going to be fun. I can't wait to continue with figuring out all the crazy stuff that you can do with her, and maybe I'll do another one where I'll talk about what this adventure looks like, because I think that we still got another month and a half until Spider Suit and Spider Ham come out. So it got some time to really digest what's here with these heroes, and just kind of see where they can go. But that's my first preview with them. So I love to hear what you all have to say about them. And thank you for giving me, a little bit of time and watching the video. And I hope you have a wonderful day.